Amada purchased Marvel about 5 years ago. Amada is one of the biggest machine tool builders on the planet. I run the ironworker department. I've also very, very well versed in the bandsaws that we manufacture. So if anybody has any questions on those, feel free to talk to me. On the ironworkers, an ironworker, for those of you who don't know or are not familiar with them, they have a punch, an angle iron shear, a flat bar shear, a round and square bar shear, a notcher. Ours comes standard with a back gauge, and ours comes standard with a lubricator. You do not have to go to hit this machine with dessert fittings. You have a one-shot lubrication system. The punch, when you're looking at an iron worker, we have machines that go from 60 tons to 192 tons. Okay? For all intent and purpose, tonnage is calculated diameter times thickness times 80. And then we have multipliers for different types of material. On our punch holder, we have a quick change punch holder. Most machines have it where you unscrew your punch holder and you take your punch out, you put your punch back in, you screw it back on. On ours, you crack the nut loose, you have a quarter turn, it comes out. Put your punch in, put it back up, quarter turn, lock your nut with your spanner wrench. It's very, very fast, and it's a really nice to be able to change tools out really quick. We go with Cleveland Punch and Die. It's a standard series of tools, so you can get them, you can get them right here. They have an account with Cleveland, but we go with the 26 punch and the 50 and the 51 punch. The 26 will get you to 1.5 inches. The 51 will get you to 2 inches. So we give you everything you need to punch up to 2 inches. Not all of the punches and dies, but the sleeves and die holders to do that. We have a keyway. Not everybody has that for shaped tools. We have a 1/4 inch keyway. So we don't, on a shaped tool, what I mean is anything that isn't round. You don't want that to turn in your nut because you can break your punch and it'll explode. Multi-plate swing away stripper. That's a stripper right here. We have 3 of those, different widths. Most companies have one width, and then you have to build a little fork to get in around your punch because you have to hit both sides of that stripper. We decided to go with 3 stripper plates so you didn't have to do that. You can see the gauging table. That comes with the machine. That's standard equipment. Most people make you buy that. There's an XY gauging bar on it also. The die holder, as you can see, has 2 holes in it. The front one has a 62 die. The bottom one has an 80 millimeter die. Front one will get you to 1.5 inches. The back one will get you to 2 inches. Right in front of that front hole, that gauging table, that portion of it comes off. The reason why we did that is so you can punch angle iron leg down. That machine right there will punch 8-inch angle iron all the way up into the web. Okay, we made the die block flush with the T-slot table. Most people do not have that. There's my 3 stripper plates. You can see that the die block is flush with that T-slot table. We went with a T-slot table instead of a tapped and drill table, so we can get things on and off of that die block or table quickly. Lighting on all the workstations. If you notice and you look at that machine, I've been looking into dark machines for 38 years, okay? About 4 years ago, I couldn't see my cut lines anymore. So what we did was we mocked up a 126 ton with all those lights, and it was such a big hit at the factory, it's standard equipment now. A bunch of our competitors have copied it, but they didn't know why I did it. So they didn't do their lighting as well. It's not in the right places. I did it so I could see. Me personally, I could see. They didn't know why. The angle iron shear. What we went for on our angle iron shear is to have less deformation than anybody making an iron worker. You can cut equal leg angle. You can cut unequal leg angle. You can cut 1/2 inch angle iron. You can cut 4-inch angle iron on that. We can cut up to 1/2 inch angle. We can go to 1/8 inch. You don't have to change anything. Right here, you can see we made a cut. They're very, very clean. They're very precise. We can make a 45-degree cut on that machine to make a picture frame corner. A lot of machines are set up so you can only straight cut on your angle iron. On this one, you can come right together and make it a picture frame. Just like that. Like that. Flat bar shear. For people who have run Ironworkers, they know that on the flat bar shear, there's a lot of deformation for a lot of machines, especially when you have to cut off little parts. Okay, you'll either get a curl or you get a twist. We get neither on this machine. This is the flattest flat bar shear made. Normally what you'd do is you would cut something as long as it is wide. We can cut a very little sliver off of our machine and it'll remain completely flat. We go with an anti-distortion blade and we come in at a very, very low rake angle. So it's an excellent flat bar shear. As you can see, we're not getting any deformation. You can miter angle iron bottom leg only in the flat bar shear. So if you want to cut just the bottom of the leg, not the top and bottom like you can in the angle iron shear, you can do that. Round and square bar shear. In that section of the machine, in that cavity, you can put in channel shears, T-bar shears, Z-bar, extrusions, anything you can think of, you can put in that section of the machine and we'll do an excellent job. We sell a lot of these machines to people who do miles and miles of channel. When it comes off this machine, it almost looks like a bandsaw. It is that good. There is no deformation on it. It's amazing. Round and square bar, we can have custom blades made for that. So if you're doing a bunch of rods, I just had a customer doing a bunch of rods, 1/2-inch stainless steel. We put 10 holes in there for him, all 1/2 inch. It was just a few thousandths over the 1/2 inch. And so when he cut, it was perfect. There was no deformation on the material. The closer you can get to the hole size, the better cut you're going to get. This is for solid bar. This is not for tubing or pipe. There's a picture of the channel shear. It goes in that same cavity. Rectangular notcher. You can also put a V-notcher on there. Rectangular notcher comes down. You can cut in the middle of a piece of angle iron. You can cut at the end of a piece of angle. You can cut on flats. You can just nip off a little tiny piece if you want to. It's very versatile. Well, people who buy the machine think that they're never going to use their rectangular notcher. They go, oh man, I'm going to punch with it. And I'm going to shear flat bar with it. They get that notcher and they're like, I don't know how I live without that thing. There's our one-shot lubrication. At the beginning of the day, you pull up on that a couple times. As we all know, nobody wants to go all over a machine and hit all those Zerk fittings. So we designed it so that you just had to pull up on that a couple times. You've lubricated the main pivot point of the machine. You've lubricated the entire back of the machine, and you are gold. 3-foot electric back gauge comes as standard equipment. And what I mean by that is when you push the material through the angle iron shear, round and square, or flat bar, when it makes contact with the back gauge, it cycles the machine. So you don't have to step on the foot pedal. If you want 1-foot pieces, you go out to 12 inches, you set your back gauge, and then bang, bang, bang. It looks just like that from the back when it's set up, or you guys can come over and look at it after you're done eating. It has a threaded nose on it. The reason why we did that is because you're going to get close on your inlaid scale back there. You'll get 12 inches. You're going to take one test cut, and it's going to come up 11 7/8. That's threaded so that you can just move it that 1/8 of an inch, and you don't have to waste a lot of material. You just have to have one test cut, and then you move that. Then you'll come out with perfect parts. Accessories. That's a channel web die holder. You can punch the leg of a channel on there. Behind it is where you would put the channel over the top of the die holder. You would actually flip that around. Multi-V press brake, tooling, okay? I always tell everybody the same thing. This is a bending attachment. It is not a press brake. Wonderful press brakes over here. You've got to have super, super accurate bends. But if you just need to bend up some brackets and things like that, we can do it on an iron worker. We are just using stroke controls and limit switches, okay? Single V press brake for doing thicker materials. That's that V notcher instead of the rectangular notcher. We have one machine that's a single cylinder machine. That's at 66 ton up in the right-hand corner. Then we go to a 60, a 71, a 93, a 126, and a 192. The 192 weighs 12,000 pounds. It is a monster. One other thing, I think we have the nicest foot pedals in the industry. Most people who have used iron workers kick their foot pedals around because they have no other way to move the foot pedal. We put a nice metal handle on there so you can actually move it and put it where you want to move it. That's all I got. Thank you.